What I want to talk about today is being a lifelong learner. Why do I think that being a lifelong learner is so important in these days? Because what school is teaching is we go to the preschool, we go to the school, we finished our masters, our bachelors, and then it's finito, right? It's done and you don't have to learn anymore. But in real life, it's the beginning. It's when people talk about commencement, it's not the end of something. So it's the beginning of something. It's the beginning of a life journey, of a lifelong learner journey, I would say. In global trade, for example, we always have to stay up to date. So the regulations are changing all the time, like every year. This year, I went to What's New from the IHK. This is like the IHK in Germany. And there we learn about the things that have changed in 2024 and what's going to change in 2025, so in the future. We went into the past and the future and we learn from this. What changed, what changes, what is going to change, and so on. So why a long life learner? If you have this mindset, you will always be curious. This topic will never bore you out because you will always want to know the news, the updates, what is happening in the world. How can we resolve it? How can we find a solution for that problem? How can we prepare ourselves for the coming regulations? And this is so important, and also for life, I guess. In many reasons, for example, when I listen to a book, I always find something new to learn. When I told you last time that I was like reading one book like 7 times now or even 10 times now, and I was listening to the audiobook like on repetition, right? Again and again. And now I can tell you in what chapter I learned what exactly. But every time I listen to this audiobook, I always find something new to learn. I always find that the book hasn't changed, but I found out, or I realized that I have changed. So I realized that things have changed for me. My perspective on things that I've now been doing or telling or I'm convinced of, right? So the things that I didn't believe before, now I believe. Now I've changed my belief system. Wow, that's like mind blowing to me. Like reading again and again, and you always find new things in a book that you haven't learned. And you're not just learning new things in a book, but you just learn more about yourself. I've learned more about myself. I discovered things that I've never discovered before when reading the same chapter, the same sentence again and again. The meaning changes, perspective changes, and I realize what I've learned through the word praxis. I love the word praxis because everything that we implement, everything that we do, that we implement from the book, the knowledge, the skill, this is called praxis. Praxis, praxis, right? And without praxis, I believe that we're not growing. So everything which makes us grow is through praxis. So you using it, you implementing it, you're living it. This is called praxis. It's a really nice word. In German we use it a lot, but in English I've never used it in English before, because when you learn something new and you have like the praxis part, right? In for example, when I learned to be a freight forwarder, we learned something at school, and then at work we have the praxis part. So that is called like the praxis. And this is what I want to share today, and I hope you kind of like think yourself, like, are you a long life learner? Do you have an attitude of a long life learner? Or Are you saying, no, I know everything already. I know it. The scariest word is, for me personally, is I know that. So I know that when I say that, my brain shuts down. Like it's it's not learning anything anymore. So because I know that, right? My brain's just saying, okay, she does know that. Why do we now create a capacity to try to understand new things, try to learn new things? The cup is already full. So how can you learn a thing if the cup is full, right? That's why I was saying learn a long life learner always empty the cup before we learn something new. So we learn it like a child, learn to run, to go, to walk, you know. This is like the lifelong learn attitude. Like when we learn something, learning is not just consuming content, but also we empty our cup first. So we have a like a big cup that is empty, that is ready for new content to come in, to be poured in, right? So every time I learn a new thing, I empty my cup and then I pour the new things in. And learning for me is not just consuming things, right? Reading, listening. This is not learning, not. Learning for me is implementing, doing the things, praxis. The key word is praxis. Turning things into praxis, that means implementing, living it, doing it. All right. This is what I want to share today. I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for listening. If you like that video, if you like this content, just give me a thumb up so that I know I keep doing this. And yeah, I hope you have a nice evening and see you in the next video. Bye.